Good morning guys, I am Sandeep Kumar Reddy from Engineers Competitive Training Academy. Today we will be discussing about part 6 of General Science. I had already discussed about up to part 5 and I just want to tell you these are the previous year original questions from various exams like Technical, Nursing Assistant and GD exams of Army, and this will be useful for all exams. Let me tell you, this is a question papers practice sets. Whoever is interested in having the books, they can directly ask for this. And there is a grammar book also, English grammar, and railway police force we have constable notification. Further we have these kind of books along with the additional leaflets. You can see formula based every leaflet has been made, so you can directly take the color prints of it. I'll send it by speed post, or here we have Navy MR examination preparation candidates. When it comes to military nursing as well as CRPF staff sub-inspector, staff nurse we call it as. So for sub-inspector exams it can be very useful, and all thing has been given. And SSC GD MTS previous year related question papers of English and general knowledge book, all previous question papers. We have all GD, SSC CHSL and SSC MTS. Here we have all trade examinations of CRPF, BSF. Any examination book has been given in a good format. All content has been covered. When it comes to tradesman, Indian Navy tradesman book. So this Indian Navy tradesman book is related to whoever is preparing for naval dockyard as well as tradesman related. And we have the Army nursing assistant book. This is something called, along with that you will be given one more book for the Army technical book will be given, because you have to read a lot of papers. When it comes to this is something called tradesman. Now we have SSC GD, whoever is preparing for SSC GD examination, and Army clerk books along with the Army technical previous year original papers along with that book. This is Army GD examinations. This is all in one, which is something called pictorial explanation has been given, more than 3000 pictures explanation. And we have something called Coast Guard. So I hope these are the books what I have. You can directly take if you want. Let us start the video what we have been given in this question papers. So the sweet text used by the diabetic patients has energy content of. So we know whoever has got the diabetes, they have high level of sugar. So in that case what they have to use, they can't use the sugar. Instead of that they will use the sweetex for having a coffee or something like that. So that sweetex which has no calories, with which there is no problem for them. When it comes to 746, we know that 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. 1 kilocalorie means 1 kilo we have 1000 grams. In the same manner 1000 calories or 1 kilocalorie. So you have to remember these things. The element which is the most abundant in the human body. He is asking element. So you must know, in our human body we have in blood iron. When it comes to the whole human body, we have oxygen, because the blood is transporting from one place to other place with the help of hemoglobin. So oxygen content is more. That is the reason we are healthy and wealthy. When it comes to carbon, in carbon, which is the maximum purest carbon, that is anthracite form is the maximum you will find in the carbon content. When it comes to leaf, has got magnesium in that. Which one of the following is found only in women? So this is something, thyroid gland, it can be observed in men also, in women also. Pituitary gland is known as master of all glands. Next we have adenoid, that is something called as tonsils. Here you can see the tonsils inside. And when it comes to ovary, this you can only find with the woman. The maximum deviation occurs during the dispersion of light. You know about dispersion of light. So this is something you should remember. Violet, that is something very less dispersion you have. When it comes to red, which has got the maximum wavelength. When it comes to blue, scattering of light, and you know that sky is the color which has got blue because of the scattering of light. So maximum deviation means maximum, here we can see the bent. So the more bent it is, so the lesser wavelength, it cannot go farther. So that is the reason least deviation or dispersion you can see in the red. That is the reason why you use red color of the light in the traffic areas. Now we should know, by mixing blue, green, red, these are the basic primary colors. By mixing them, we obtain white color, which is very important. We have damp clothes are dried in spin dryers by the action of, in washing machine, we put our clothes, whatever the wet clothes, that gets dried up because of the centrifugal force. This type of centrifugal force you will find in milk churning also. So we know that how we churn the milk. So in that also we can directly see that centrifugal force. When it comes to centripetal force, we have a turning of car. So in that car, what happens? If we turn right and faster, we lean to left side, opposite side. In the same manner, we have solar system, all these planets around the sun, which is an example of centripetal force. And we have the rotational force. Somerset is an example of rotational force. And we have Pascal's law also. That is, in the Pascal's law, what happens is, when you give the pressure in the container, if it is given the holes, the equal pressure of the water moves out. So that is one thing. Hydraulic press we will find maximum in shock absorbers. And next we have the measure of the speed of an approaching car a police officer shines. So here one thing you should know, we have speed checking equipments by the traffic police. So he sent one radio waves light, so that directly hit to the respective vehicle. If the speed of the vehicle is more, then he will be charged as per the number plate, or he will be stopped somewhere. So that is one thing. Now we know that light waves are transverse waves and it can travel faster in vacuum. Microwaves you can see in the microwave oven, and we have ultra high frequency, different places it will be used. And I want you to tell me where exactly ultra high frequency waves are used. When it comes to aircraft whose speed is lesser than the speed of the sound, which is known as subsonic. Very important. We have different aircrafts with the speed of sound more than that, we have called as supersonic, we can tell. And hypersonic range, you can give me the speed of the hypersonic planes, and I want you guys to comment. Now we know that ultrasonic round, that is ultrasonic is what? We have audible sound, we have infrasonic, and we have ultrasonic. So ultrasonic sounds are those that can only produced by the bats. So that is more than 20,000 heads, and even see mosquitoes also, that buzzing sound it cannot be heard. So they are the examples of ultrasonic. But the question asked is the speed less than the speed of the sound, they are known as subsonic. Very important. When it comes to color produced by the mixing of green and red, so GRY, so this is something you should remember. So green and red, we have this yellow, and magenta RBM, cyan BGC. Now white we have BGR. Here you should remember, it is not R and B, it is GRY. So small mistake, don't worry. RG mix Y. Next we have the law of inertia is stated by the, so inertia we have law of rest, we can tell, and we have something law of motion, and the third law is action and reaction. It's like conservation of momentum. So here this first law is also known as law of inertia or law of rest. This is something formulated by the Newton's scientist. And first law we have Henry Becquerel. I want you guys to comment me in the section, what is he famous for? And when it comes to Albert Einstein theory of relativity, and we know how the neck of the giraffe has gone straightly, like it's up, and this is theory of relativity is like E equal to mc square. And we have John Dalton, who formulated atomic theory. You must know about him. When it comes to zero valency, now we know that zero valence elements are inert gases or noble gases. Both all are the same. So here in this noble gas is argon, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So all these are inert gases. You must know about this. So, and we should know that it has got the zero valency. Rest all, osmium is the heaviest metal, and lithium is the lightest metal, and bromine is, we have a non-metal in a liquid form. When it comes to the blood, be transfused to every corner of the body by the heart. Why? Because it gives the pumping. The more pumping it gives, the maximum places it reaches. So the main function of the body, in a human body, the heart is to send the blood, and the function of the kidney is to filter the blood. So this is what exactly to be done. Now we have a liver, which is the largest gland. Hypothalamus, you know that, and hypothalamus, what happens is body temperature will be maintained. This acts as our human body's thermostat. Now we have pancreas, which is helpful for the secretion of insulin. Now we have red pigment, is the leaves are the due to presence of anthocyanin. Very important, guys. We have a leaves which has got the red pigment. In that there is an anthocyanin. And we have the chlorophyll, that is a green pigment. You can directly see that in the chlorophyll we have the green pigment. And here we have the transpiration of water through xylem and translocation of food through phloem. These are the few things you should know. This kind of red pigment, you can see that occasionally the leaves will become yellowish because of that reason only. And we have something called as energy possessed by a body by virtue of its position is called potential energy, that is equal to mgh. When it comes to the by its virtue of its motion, then it is something called as kinetic energy, that is half mv square. We have something called E equal to mc square. It is a theory of relativity formula. When it comes to escape velocity or orbital velocity, this is very important topic. If we throw any substance to space, we have to throw with the speed of 11.2 km per second, then it goes to the space. Even the rocket also, we give a speed of 11.2 km per second, then we leave it, automatically it goes to the space. So here we have something called as a formula, v escape velocity is equal to root 2 into v orbital velocity. I want you guys to comment me what is the escape velocity of the moon. Very important. When it comes to the presence of chromosomes of a human body, we have 23 pairs. It means we have 46. If we have more than 46, we will be diagnosed with the Down syndrome. We have a problem. And you know that total number of bones in face we have 14, and the total teeth are 32. That is important. Now which is very important, normothermia means normal thermal temperature, as well as euthermia of a human body in a Kelvin scale. We have different scales. We have Fahrenheit scale, degree centigrade scale, Kelvin scale, and Reaumur scale. Whatever they ask, you have to write that answer. Here they had asked easily, it is clearly visible. Kelvin scale, it is 310. When it comes to degree centigrade, it is, you should remember, 37 degrees centigrade. When it comes to Fahrenheit, 98.6 is the normal temperature of human body. It can be asked like this: euthermia of human body or normothermia of human body. Very important bit, guys. The instrument used to measure the relatively high temperature, that is known as pyrometer, which is used for the measuring of high temperature. When it comes to altimeter, the height of the altitude can be measured. When it comes to sonar, we know that sound navigation and ranging, the abbreviation of sonar. We can see these kind of sonar equipments are equipped in ships, where we can directly find out the depth of this ocean, as well as we can find out any movement of submarines which are going down below to the ship. Any movement, it's not only submarine, any human activities. And when it comes to periheliometer, which are measured, which are used for the sun's temperature, higher temperatures can be measured very easily. The color with the utmost frequency, as I had already told, here we have the utmost frequency. Frequency and lambda. So we have nu lambda, it is nu and lambda both are inversely proportional, which has got the maximum frequency, the least wavelength. So least wavelength means here violet has got the least wavelength, so that is the reason, because it will not travel farther. So maximum deviation you will find in violet, so violet is the utmost frequency in it. But when it comes to the maximum wavelength in red, we will find it. The disease affected by the plasmodium of Aedes aegypti. You know that there is a mosquito called Aedes aegypti which is bitten during the daytime. It will be the main reason for the dengue fever. When it comes to malaria, we have female anaphylaxis, and typhoid is occurred. It's a bacterium, Salmonella typhi bacterium, and DPT, diphtheria, tetanus. And what is P? I want you guys to comment me in the section. So these are different diagnoses are there, you should know everything. So when it comes to the substance with the maximum conductance of electricity, you know that silver has got the maximum conductance. Normally we don't use silver because of it is very costlier, so that is the reason we go for copper in a domestic wiring purpose. But if they ask maximum conductance of electricity, you will find in silver only. It is bronze is copper and tin, alloy is the bronze. The nuclear fission reaction takes place in the atom bomb. When it comes to fusion, you will find in hydrogen bomb as well as sun also, you will find the same hydrogen like hydrogen bomb and sun fusion, FUSION. Fission you will find in atom bomb. When it comes to, you know that in this process the impact of uranium-235 will be done. Then you will find, you can see, let's see, largest hadron collider which is in Switzerland, I think. So they have tunneled 26 kilometers and they are trying to bombard all the particles with which they can create a black hole over there. So that is still happening. When it comes to the disease of bow legs occurs due to the deficiency of vitamin, that is calciferol. Very important, guys. In bow legs, what happens is, if you don't have the proper vitamin D or sun rays during the child birth, so what will happen is your legs will be bow legs or knock knees. So you can find these kind of problems. Restall thiamine, that is B1 vitamin. So here we have naphthoquinone or vitamin K, which is anticoagulant, guys. We know that vitamin C will help in bleeding gums as well as scurvy. So this is the disease which occurs with the lagging of ascorbic acid. So now it comes to oxygen in our blood is transported by a protein named as, you know that in our human body oxygen is transported from one place to other place by the help of hemoglobin, guys. This is very important. I want you guys to comment me what is keratin, what is melanin. Next we have, which are the following that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Very important, guys. In this mechanical energy, example we can see, before we used to have the in bicycles we used to have one small instrument that converts whatever the cycle we move, that directly convert into electrical energy. That is the equipment called as dynamo. So in the same manner, in marriage functions also, if you have any current power supply failure, so in that case what will happen is our generator will be started. So there they will put a petrol or diesel in that, then they start rotating and electricity will be generated. So this is one example. Rest all refrigerator, fan and electric motor, all are, you can see, one of the electrical appliances. What is the frequency of alternating current produced in India? So you know that in our home we have 220 volt socket and we have 440 volt socket. Along with that, whatever the frequency we maintain in a alternate current, what we use in home, that should be like 50 hertz only. Normally generators we have, the voltage can be increased by the coil with more turns. The more coil turns you will be having the copper wires, so then you will have the more voltage can be produced. Rotating coil faster, using coil with larger area. These are all important factors that can be increased in a voltage map. Now we have something called as bronchitis. It's a disease, guys. You should know about respiratory tract. If you eat, like even I have acute bronchitis, if I eat any ghee related to, instead of having cow, if I eat buffalo, then I'll have the problem in that. So that is one thing, bronchitis I'll have to face. When it comes to liver, which is the largest gland, guys, in human body, if I say largest organ in human body, that is something called as our skin. Here we have something called as largest intestine, that is small intestine. The rich content of retinol is found in, you will find retinol, that is vitamin A. When it comes to vitamin A, that is ice. So the maximum you will find in carrot. When it comes to soybean, you have vitamin K, meat, thiamine. Tomato, we have ascorbic acid. The chemical reaction process is an example of, that oxidation process, that is also known as rusting of iron. When iron gets rusted, it gets oxidized, and the weight of the iron will be more. So automatically the weight of the iron automatically gets increased. Normally melting of ice is a physical change. You know that evaporation of solid carbon dioxide, it's a sublimation process. We know solid carbon dioxide, which is also known as a dry ice. Now you know that diffusion of nitrogen. Amphibian species, you know that frog is one type of amphibian only. Along with that we have tortoise also. In frog we have mucous membrane. With this, that helps in living the frog. If it gets dried, the skin gets dried, automatically that mucous glands get dried, then the frog will die. We have the blue whale, it's the biggest mammal. We have something called bat. So bat, everybody know, it is a flying mammal, and it produces ultrasonic waves, and it helps these waves in finding its prey to have food. Now we have something called as dolphin, which is an intelligent aquatic animal we can call. We have German silver, it is an alloy of copper, zinc and nickel. Let me tell you guys, you will not find any kind of silver in German silver, but the name is as German silver only, but you don't find any kind of silver in it. When it comes to bronze, we have the mixture of copper and tin, that is bronze. When it comes to tin and lead, that is solder iron. The maximum constituent of carbohydrates found in rice, you can see the maximum constituents. So we'll find the carbohydrates maximum. More boiling, Kaira disease also you can see there. Clove, that is flower bud. Example, very important bit for army nursing assistants. Clove is a form of bud. So after that flower gets dried up, then you will find one clove only. So clove is a form of bud. And when it comes to different Kaira disease, you can see that. So it is related to rice only. Now we have something called sugar cane, which has got more carbohydrates, and we have soybean also. The group of stars, which is known as, we know that whatever the group of stars, they are known as Milky Way galaxy. So when constellation we can call it as. So here when it comes to Halley's comet, you can see after every 76 years, very important guys, it's not 72, it is 76, you will find Halley's comet. And we have something called in a beer shaped. So beer shaped Ursa Major. A group of asteroids are known as asteroid belts, and a group of islands are known as archipelago. Now we have the unit of luminous intensity. You know that candela is the unit of luminous intensity. When it comes to inductance, unit is Henry. Solid angle unit is steradian. When it comes to the conductance, we have mho. Should know the conductance is the quite opposite to resistance. Now we have insulin is secreted by the pancreas, because if it is not secreted by pancreas, the automatically sugar level gets high. So that is the main function of pancreas. It maintains sugar level, and blood purification done in kidneys. Normally bile is secreted by the liver, and liver also helps in cleaning the blood. When it comes to the adrenal glands, you can see on top of the kidneys you will find adrenal glands, which is also known as steroid hormones. And now we have the bile juice, which is secreted by the liver, is accumulated in gallbladder. So you must know whatever the bile juice is produced, that has to be stored in the human gallbladder. If there is any problem in our liver, then what will happen is the more it gets released, you can see that bile juice can be released. If there is any misfunctionality, then what will happen is the gallbladder gets filled, and automatically after filling gallbladder it gets leaked all over the body. Then you will have the jaundice for your human body. The more problems you have in your liver, then you will have a diabetes also. When it comes to liver, pancreas and duodenum, very important guys. You know that duodenum is the first part of small intestine. The acetic acid found normally in vinegar. So you know all apple cider vinegar, it is very important for your acid. And we have the anti-sting, or we can see that there is a ant named as formica. So with that sting you have it's a small swelling over here. So ant sting is formic acid. We have a stomach acid, which is also known as hydrochloric acid guys. Normally you will find them in stomach, with which it can help for the digestion purpose. When it comes to car batteries, in that sulfuric acid H2SO4, which is known as master of all acids. And you must know that there is something called as methanoic acid. This methanoic acid will affect your human body. You will find in you can find in scorpion. Now we have something called as working principle of rocket, is based on the principle of, we know that law of conservation of momentum, or we have Newton's third law, which is action and reaction. On this principle the rocket works guys. It is very important. You should know about all these things. Law of rest or inertia, first motion. Next that is first law of motion, Newton's, and second law is law of motion. So like that you should know everything. The fuel used for the nuclear reactor, we know that. So in that we use the uranium-235. It is, we should remember what is neutron impact in caused in nuclear fission. These are very important. Germanium and silicon are semiconductor devices. Cobalt, you will find this kind of thing in AC engine parts, it will be used. So here whatever the fuel we are using it, that is uranium-235 in a nuclear reactor, and it will be acted as a neutron. And the reason of sparkling of stars, you know that because of the refraction of light, the sparking of stars is possible. There are few things you must remember. Along with that, you can see in diamond, TIR stands total internal reflection. So these type of things you will find in diamonds, how exactly this total internal reflection happens, that gets very glowed. Now we have something called scattering of light, that blue light, because of that sky is blue. Dispersion of white light into different colors, that is VIBGR. So that can be seen on prism. So it is one example. Even example of rainbow also, dispersion example. The parity of centigrade and Fahrenheit scale will be like equal. Parity means equal. So centigrade as well as Fahrenheit we have -40, and if it comes to 310 degrees we have body temperature of Kelvin. When it comes to body temperature in degrees, 337 degrees as well as 98.6 Fahrenheit. Boiling point of water is 100. It's very important, 100 degrees centigrade. The point in the middle of the plane mirror, which is known as pole, very important guys, very important. Every mirror has got in the center, in that center point is known as pole, where you will find in mirror. Focal point, you should know, light rays gets converged in a convex lens. In concave lens we have a diverging lens. We have something called as foci. You know that in our solar system, sun is not in the center. That center place is known as foci. Very important. The separation of chaff from grain, which is known as harrowing. Better know about manuring, harvesting, threshing, manuring, like even harvesting. So all these stages are there. You should know about these cultivating stages. You can, if you are aware of it, I want you guys to comment me in the comment section. Rabi crop seasons lasts from October to March. You can see this Rabi crop. We have Kharif as well as Jayad also. Next, which of the following is not the mixture? Very important, guys. Air is one example for the mixture. When it comes to, there are various things you should remember, and I request you guys to have a look. So very important. So whatever the PDF I'm talking about, this PDF is this one. I have a printouts. Whoever take the books, I'll send these printouts to you guys. You can directly take it and prepare very faster. So don't worry about money we can be earned, but once the time is done, we can't do anything. So here it is very important. So mixture as well as compo. So here air is an example of mixture, and you can see steel, we have something called as different elements in it, and aluminum is abundant metal. So these are a few things you must remember. So mixture, air is an example, as well as steel we can see here. Now we have natural and largest source of heat you will find in sun. So very important, guys. Moon is not a natural planet, natural satellite. Moon is a natural satellite, but it is not a star. It cannot be blown. So here we know that in our solar system, we have a largest heat is produced from the sun only. Now we have something called as garbage from cities is collected at which place? You know that from the cities it will be compiled and put somewhere, that is known as land hill areas or garbage collecting areas. So in that places maximum we collect and keep it. Common name of sodium chloride, which is also known as common salt, that is NaCl. And we know that washing soda is sodium carbonate, baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. We know that in chalk powder we have calcite, guys, and percentage of water in human body, how much it is like 60% water in our human body along with the blood. The material used in the manufacture of lead, that is graphite, is used, guys. You know that mica is normally used in paints. You can see this. So lead pencils we have where we write. So that is one thing. Water can be separated from the alcohol by the help of distillation process. We know this sublimation process, normally camphor or naphthalene can be easily sublimated for the purification. So there are evaporation, water evaporation, decantation, everything. You should know that different process. So here whatever the questions we have already discussed, so all questions have been like 50 questions in this video. In next video we will discuss about further whatever the questions are there in the part 7 video, and we will wind up in 10 videos all these 530 questions, guys. I hope this video will help you a lot. Let me tell you, you should have a book which is very important for all exams. Don't underestimate this book. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can directly call me on 7667302252. I hope this video will help you a lot. I want you guys to go through playlist where you will find more videos. I don't want to waste your time. Thank you. Have a good day.